Yeah, g'day YouTubers, Tinker O'Toole again here with another video. Today we're going to talk about the Husqvarna X-Cut and we're going to put it up against the Stihl Hexa. So the only difference is it's a 3/8 chain, it's a X-Cut C85, it's for a 20-inch bar. The only difference is the Stihl is 0.63 gauge, which is 1.6 millimeter drive link thickness, and the Husky is 1.5 millimeters thickness in drive link. So you got a slight difference in there. So Husqvarna don't sell one in the 1.6 millimeter. So yep, that's the difference. Now I'll just run over a few specs of the some useless information, but we're comparing one against the other. So first of all, the top plate angle on the Husqvarna is in the top plate angle. So the top plate angle here is here. So on this edge here on the top plate, you've got 30 degrees. On the Stihl, it's 25 degrees. The tooth width, so it's a slightly narrower kerf than a standard, is 4.2 millimeter. On the Stihl, it's 4.1. The tooth length is 9.45 millimeters, and on the Stihl, it's 9.9, so slightly longer. The tooth height, so what we're referring to is the bottom here. So from this height here to the tip here, we're looking on the Husqvarna to be 12.8 millimeters in height, and on the Stihl 12.6. So the really noticeable difference is probably the shape. Now, if you actually have a look at that angle going down and the length of that angle, that's a 45-degree angle. And the length of that is about 1.7 millimeters. Then you come down here on a bit of a straight angle on the side plate. That's at about 170 degrees. And then you have this big sweep here. No file that Husqvarna manufacture fits that profile. So when you talk to the Husqvarna dealer and you say to him, oh, look, I notice the profile, it looks different. How do you sharpen that? Because you can't do it with a round file. How do you do it? Oh, we just angle the grinder a little bit different. No, you don't just angle the grinder a little bit different. You're going to have to reprofile the grinding wheel so that it matches that. Because if you use a file, it defeats the purpose of having X-Cut in the first place. Because if you use a round file on this, all you've got is a full chisel chain. Simple. So I can't understand why Husqvarna would manufacture something like this and sell files which will defeat the purpose of this in the first place. Now, I brought two chains. So this is a brand new chain, not used. The other chain that I brought, and I put them up against each other, and the Stihl beats it by about 1.5 seconds. I was cutting about a 1 foot diameter log, and the Husqvarna lost. And that was on this profile, brand new out of the box. So normally when I test something, I test them straight out of the box. If I'm going to put a file in that, and it takes Husqvarna recommend a round file of 5.5 millimeters, then it's all over. All I'm going to end up, as I said before, is a full chisel. So, and I'll show you the box where it actually recommends a round file. So what's the point of manufacturing something with a sharp point on it that you can't resharpen unless you've got a special profile on a wheel? So what we'll do next is show you some of the specifications and the shape, and I'll tell you my honest opinion at the end of the video whether you should buy this or whether you should buy the Stihl. And yeah, so very interesting information. You know what makes me really laugh about this profile is that on the back of the packet, and I'll show it to you in a minute, they recommend a 5.5mm file, 732. Have a look at the gap. Now, you're manufacturing something, you're going to put that's just going to be full chisel. Simple as that. That's all that's going to be, is a full chisel. Anyway, we'll show you that information. So if you look at the packet, you'll see here that they recommend 732 file. $63 too. 55 for the Stihl, so it's much more expensive. There's the 30 degrees on the top plate. 0 degrees, no tilt. 0.65mm, so that's standard. What actually makes me laugh is I can't see the point in buying something that looks like this and cannot be maintained with a file when they're recommending a file. So essentially what this means, that you're going to buy this X cut C85 chain, you're going to get one use out of it, and they recommend for you to use a file. To me, that's pretty bad. So I actually drew a bit of a picture in the background there. You can see that 45 degrees on the top plate cutting angle coming in, straight edge, has a length of 1.7mm in length. We have 170 degrees coming down for about 2mm, and we have a slight curve here. That I can replicate on a grinding wheel. So my honest opinion is I wouldn't go to the trouble and effort to buy the Husqvarna X-cut chain when it can't even be filed with a file, and you have to go to all the trouble and effort to grind a profile in a wheel. So the clear winner to me is definitely the Stihl, and it beats it in performance, as you'll find many videos out there where they'll actually tell you that Hexa outperforms a Husqvarna. So that's my take on it. So thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up. If you're interested in asking any questions about the Husqvarna X-Cut, you're quite welcome. Bye for now.